Hello, good people. Welcome back to Full Bore Silver. Well, kind of a chop fest since the all-time highs nominal that were hit earlier in the week, both gold and silver. But you know what they say, the longer the base, the higher into space. So we'll keep an eye on it right now. Every time we leg up, it kind of gets smashed back down, but we're forming tweezer bottoms on a lot of these chart patterns. So we'll see what happens with silver here into the close of the Globex markets, and then awaiting Sunday when it's always exciting to watch that. So, there's a certain wisdom in the older generation, older gentlemen. I realize that I have like five really good friends that are in their 70s. Guys that were born before the advent of the cell phone and TikTok and butts on OnlyFans and whatever people are into nowadays. I got a really good buddy that I ski with. He's a former smoke jumper, so one of those guys that used to rappel out of helicopters to go fight forest fires. He still skis almost every day. Lives in Utah. He's near 80 years old. He works out every day. He's kind of a mentor for me that I model my life after. And, he's really abreast of financial markets. But so I always am drawn to these older guys when they're on some of the different gold and silver pods. Mark Faber, the Swiss investor, was on Capitalcosm. I mean, this guy was buying gold at 39 an ounce in 1970. A lot of wisdom there. And so he was saying that, number one, do not ever believe what the government says about inflation, CPI numbers. That's all BS. And number two, he said, platinum will exceed gold. And he also said that as we enter this really hyper cycle on the financial transition, the debt, the debasement of currency, they will increasingly take us to war, as you can see with all the events around the world. And with war comes inflation, which furthers our case for stacking precious metals. Another great one was Bob Moriarty, the grizzled old Marine fighter pilot. I think he flew like 800 missions over Vietnam back in the day. He was on Palisades Gold. I love this guy. I love listening to him. He just cusses and he doesn't care who he pisses off. But he basically was talking about the debt-based system of the West versus the resource-based system of the East. That kind of reminded me of something I'd heard on Capitalcosm a while back. He said, the U.S. is a country full of lawyers, and China is a country full of engineers. And wow, does that put it perfectly? Look at the career backgrounds of 90% of our politicians. A bunch of scumbag lawyers. Anyway, it kind of... it's not too surprising the direction of our country with, the backgrounds that these people come from. Anyway, on the wall behind him, he had all of the different fiat currencies that have debased and gone to zero over the years. So he had French assignats from the French Revolution. He had Confederate notes that went to zero, Weimar paper marks. He had the Zimbabwean dollars, and then the Hungarian pengo, the most hyper-inflated, debased currency in human history. I guess it peaked out, the monthly inflation rate increase on the Hungarian pengo peaked out at 41.9 quadrillion percent in 1 month. So, not to be outdone, the Federal Reserve is now injecting another $55 billion into the U.S. economy over the next 3 weeks, which furthers our case for silver, right? Wanted to let you know I stopped by the pawn shop and the gold and silver shop yesterday, and I was chit-chatting with the owner, and I was asking about gold and silver, and he was remarkably posted on what's going on with markets, and we were kind of talking about it. He markets his shop really well. They're on Facebook. But he said every time he markets Silver Eagles, which he's selling at 10% over the premium. So he's selling at like 110 an ounce out of this pawn shop. He said every time they get completely scooped up, we have no coins in the shop. People just go on Facebook and they scoop up whatever we have. So A little bit of a signal there that this stuff is getting scooped up very quickly. You do have people that need cash on hand. They need it to pay mortgages, etc. And they are selling at these levels. But as soon as they sell, the buyers step in. It's kind of representative of if you look at these candlestick charts on the paper markets. So that was interesting. Couple financial hacks here for you. If you were affected by that Verizon service outage on Wednesday, you can jump on the app and instantly just click a button. They'll give you $20. So I went and did that this morning. Another financial hack, if you're in the US illegally, you can go on the DHS Home app and click a button, and you will receive free travel back to your home country. And you will also receive a $1,000 bonus, like a stipend. Had you done this before December 31st, you would have received a holiday stipend of $3,000. So, I mean, that's a nice little chunk of change if you want to go back to Venezuela or Eritrea or Ethiopia or wherever. I don't think you have to leave if you are a Somali pirate or slave trader. You can stay, open daycare centers. But, for the rest of the people that are here illegally, the U.S. government is paying you to go back to your homeland. And, with the Mexican peso up 17% against the U.S. dollar, that's an attractive economy to go back to. I did have a British buddy. His visa was running out, so he was leaving the country. He was flying out of Houston, and there was a delay, 8-hour delay on his departure. Finally went through customs, and they noticed that he had overstayed his visa by 3 hours. So he is now banned from the United States. So they're really going after my buddy who's holed up in Costa Rica. So it could be worse, but he's going through all the legal nonsense to kind of come back. He's a businessman. He's a great person. He's kind of the type of immigrant that we need in this country, a skilled individual. But we got the Somali pirates, so I guess that's a start, right? AI data center loans are coming due for Oracle. They have $250 billion in outstanding debt for all this AI and data center stand-up that they are doing. But the problem is we don't have the water to cool the data centers. We don't have the electric grid to power them. And as we talked about yesterday, you've got NVIDIA Blackwell chips sitting unboxed in different warehouses. They can't even set this stuff up. So I'm not sure if I'd be putting much money into Oracle or some of the other AI plays at this point. Now, every day it seems like we have these slams that happen pretty regularly between 6 and 7 a.m. Central Time, and then 4 and 5 p.m. Central Time. So if you're looking to leg into a little bit of silver, those might be your buying windows right there. I did get a package, and if this is where I think it came from, I am living in the Twilight Zone. So let's have a quick look here. I was expecting a silver delivery from the U.S. Mint. I've never received a delivery this large, and, I've ordered the monster boxes and such. Let's see. I mean, maybe these are the new loofahs that I ordered. I'm not really sure what's going on here. Kind of dangerous knife work with the size of this box. Don't want to slit a jugular. Never cut toward yourself unless you're on camera. Look at this. Look at this box. I mean, this is ridiculous. Beautiful bubble wrap job. Gonna have bubble wrap for years. And it is indeed my recent purchase from the U.S. Mint before they closed down sales and ran out of... I'm not so sure that they ran out of silver. They may have run out of packaging material. I guess the Doge cuts didn't hit the packaging department at the U.S. Mint. This is ludicrous. These are all the Silver Eagles that I ordered. I'm not sure. I think I got 20. They just keep coming. Each individually wrapped. No tubes, no sleeves here. Each individually. It's get these guys out. Yeah, I'm swimming in packaging material here. Woo! All right. Oh, there's one more. You don't want to leave one in there. Garbage man would be happy. Get the hell out of here. Well, let's have a look at one of these guys. A+ for packaging. Way better than JM that had the gold eagle floating around out of the sleeve I talked about. All right, here's your silver eagle. Beautiful, uncirculated. And do they put these in here? Oh, good thing I have grip strength. Yeah, that's your silver eagle right there. What a beautiful coin. Well, we picked off the U.S. Mint. But like I said, you got to stack some more. Hey, look for that 4 to 5 p.m. window, Central Time, 6 to 7 a.m. Anyway, I'm pretty happy with the U.S. Mint. They shipped my order. Evidently, a bunch of orders got canceled. I know Aaron, Texas Silver has an order delivering as well. But that'll about do it for today. Thanks so much for tuning in, and we will talk to you soon. Take care.